Going live. Share your screen with. Okay. Hi. How are you? So we're waiting for somebody to join. I hope somebody will join today and have a lot of question. If you like, should be moved a little bit. That one. Okay. I can hear myself from this one. Okay. So, and how do I see here how many is online? I see it up there. Okay. And there's no one because the one there is myself watching. I hope somebody will come online and ask a lot of questions about how to find a biologic family. So let's wait a minute or two more, otherwise we'll just start speak about maybe some DNA. So 7 o'clock in the evening, Thai time now. Very early in USA, midday in Europe. So late evening in Australia. Hope somebody will join soon. So let's wait and see if somebody will come join. That will be very nice. How do I remove that one? It's not even that one. Is it that one? Where do it go in my glasses? It's from that one. Okay. Let me move that one a little bit. Is that better? Okay, so it doesn't look like there is coming anybody. So let's start. So welcome to my live stream where everybody can ask whatever they want to find out how they could find a biologic family. So until somebody coming, maybe I should start speak about some DNA. Previously, I didn't have that much experience with the DNA, but the last couple of months I've been playing around, especially with, not especially, but only with my heritage DNA. And the more I use it and learn about how to use it, the more impressed I get on how it's actually work. So right now I have 2 new DNA result within the last months. One is my second cousin, and the thing is, I think many people take a DNA test, and when they get the result, they get very disappointed because the percentage they share with other people is not very high. But let me start with saying that as long as it's not very low, and very low is like less than 1%. Everything more than 1% shared DNA is something we can work with, and especially if they have 3 attached, with the DNA matches. So when my second cousin get her result, she had quite a few that I will say quite good matches. But when she told me that she had her result coming, she says she was very disappointed. The best one was 8.1% shared, and she didn't know anybody in the tree. And she was looking to find out who was her father. She had two. She'd been told she had two possible fathers. So we was just looking after that too. We was not looking after somebody we didn't know who was. So at the same time, a few weeks later, her biologic brother, took the DNA test. So she said, okay, I just wait to see if I match him and he's my brother. And when I got access to her DNA result, it took me 3 minutes to find out who her father was, because one of the father was in several of the other people's trees, and his parents was in even more trees. And the other case I've been working on is it's my mother's uncle. Actually, all started with a couple of months ago. My mother got, and me also, of course, but my mother had the best match. She had a DNA match that say that the match was her cousin's grandchild. And her cousin's grandchildren that we knew about was the one that was tested. And when I contact her, she started to tell about her grandmother was adopted, and her father was from Poland. And first I was just excited because my father's family is also from Poland. So I was just, okay, maybe we finally find some of her family that we expect he have back from before the war. But after some time, also, I didn't have that much experience at that time to see on the result. But after some time, I see that they share matches that is actually not on her father's side, but on her mother's side. And on her mother's side, we know that that her uncle, and she have only one uncle, she don't have any aunts. So when we look into to her shared matches, they was on her mother's side. And then I start to think about, okay, so if her father was from Poland, then it must be her mother or her husband's parents, because it should be a grandchild, so it could be her husband also. And then we got in contact with the grandmother, and the first thing she say that the other the other person in the family didn't know was that her mother was from Grenaa, which is where my mother's family is from. and she had the name also, and we find her. So I looked into her mother's mother family, and since it should be quite close, or it should be her cousin, I just go back 2 generations, and none of them end up in my tree, in our tree. So instead of that, we also have to rule out her husband. So I look on her husband's side also, and nothing come even close to where my family is from. And then I begin to start to thinking, okay, so it must be her, and it must be her mother. She told me that she also knew her father, but only that she have got the name from the archives in the 70s, and she was told that he was Polish and his name, and he ended up in Australia and a few other informations, but she have never been able to find him. And then I start thinking, okay, maybe this Polish guy is not her father. Maybe it's more likely that my uncle is her father. And then a few weeks later, another cousin also took a DNA test, which means it's 2 different of her grandchildren now took the tests, and both of them have the same relationship to my mother. So now we knew that it for sure have to be either her or her husband. It could not be the children that maybe have another parents or something. It must be from her or her husband. And the more I start thinking, everything fit into that. She must have knowing my uncle. First of all, they live very close to each other, within 500 meters to 1 kilometer at that time. And at that time, my mother's uncle, he was married before the war, but during the war, his wife left him. So he was single after the war, and he got married a few years later. So everything fit into that. They have known each other, and that result in he's going to be the father instead of the policeman. And I also find out that in 1st November, so 3.5 months after she got pregnant, she moved to Copenhagen to give birth in Copenhagen. And unfortunately, she died a couple of years later of tuberculosis. But anyway, that's what I think is so fantastic with DNA, is that even if it's like in this case, my mother's uncle's great grandchild, and nobody knew that he was the father, DNA make it possible to find out that he is the father. Right now, the grandmother is testing, and also my mother's cousin have already tested. So we're now waiting for the grandmother to for her result to coming, and I am pretty sure that they are going to be half sibling. So my my mother's two cousins are going to get a new half sister. And without DNA, nobody will have ever known. I believe that my mother's uncle have most likely not knowing anything about that she got pregnant. Because it was third time she got pregnant. So I believe that she just decided to go to Copenhagen, give birth, and give the baby away. So yeah, so many things you can find out with DNA. So if you're looking after your biologic family, for sure that's a great way to find it, especially if you adopt a child and you're looking after your parents. If you're in Europe, I will recommend My Heritage. This is the most used company in Europe, and have quite a lot of matches. I haven't used others, so I cannot say how good they are for the European. But everybody that know, they say that for Europe it's My Heritage, and in America the better option is Ancestry or 23andMe, which have much bigger database than My Heritage, but mostly from America. And if I remember right, one of them are also quite big in England. But yeah, so I also have some experience with Thai people, because my wife is tested, my daughter is tested, and her boyfriend is tested, and Alice in Sweden that is adopted from Thailand is also tested, and they don't get that that many matches. And one of the problem is that not so many people in Thailand get tested, and the most people in Thailand that get tested are Thais that living together with foreigners. So it's quite limited the number of people that get tested, which of course you can be lucky. And the second problem is that the most of the Thai that are tested, they don't really have trees that go go back more than maybe one or maximum two generation. So you have to be quite lucky and find some close test. Like in Alice's case, she have quite a few matches, but my wife is the best one. And still with my wife, we have to go back to, let's share a great grandparents, a great grandparents, most likely. So, and the problem with my wife family is that we don't know anything longer back than her mother's generation. And that generation was, all of the one we know about was adopted. But it's most likely that they have to go one generation longer back. And we have no knowledge about a part of the family. But still, DNA could help, The problem with her matches, she are tested in quite many databases. So they're not in the same database, and that's a problem when there is not that many matches. It will be so much more easy if they was all in the same database, because if they're in the same database, you could see even the match with her, you could see also who they share with, which I mean, you can split it up in her mother's and father's family, and you can also split it up in her grandparents' families. And then you maybe could start to find out, okay, does this two have anything that they share, any kind of family members they share, any place they share. The only good thing with her is that the most of the matches she had got in contact with are all in the same district here in Chiang Rai in North Thailand, which means it's most likely that she's also from that district. There's just two problems with that theory. Is that she is part of the Aka Hill tribe, which have been moving quite a lot. That's the first problem. The second problem is that if we are going to go 3 generations back, then maybe she have been very lucky that the people that test is from that area, but the people that move to other places maybe haven't tested. That's not easy to know. But anyway, she's found not far from the district. So I mean, she's the district where the most of the matches is from is not far from the main city in the area, and she's found in the hospital in the main city. So it will make sense that she is from that district. It will be. It's possible it's from other places, but it's most likely from that district, both because of the tribal connection and because so many matches can connect to that district. It's like 6-7 different matches that have connection in the same district. So she's most likely from there. Okay, it doesn't look like anybody coming, so yeah, maybe I should try do it again next week. If you see this and you have question, please just write it in the comment, send me an email, peterfindsyourfamily@gmail.com. If you're looking for your biologic family, send me an email and ask me to help you. I will help free of charge. Doesn't cost you anything. Also, you can do a big help to share this video, to share the message, tell everybody out there to ask me to help them to find their biologic family. You can subscribe to the channel. That will also be a very good help. Right now we are only 39 subscribers. So this also means I have to do this on my computer, which the camera is not as good as if I use the telephone. Yeah, share, like, subscribe, and if you have any question, just let me know. If you think I should do this next week, or if you have a suggestion to a time that fit you better, another time of the day, because of your location, let me know. Write it in the comment below or send me an email. So I think I will say goodbye and thanks for now. I hope to see more people next time. See you. Bye bye. Have a good weekend. Your silence will stop immediately and you will not longer be alive. And